Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome back to the interview room our current clubhouse leader, Justin Rose. Justin yesterday recorded a fine 7-under par 65 and followed that up today with a solid even par 72 to finish at 7 under after 36 holes, leader in the clubhouse. 4 birdies on the day and a great battle back on that 4-hole stretch, 13, 14, and 16. So congratulations on great play. Let me open it up to any questions.
Justin, just talk about the kind of down and up nature of today, and also what were you thinking standing on 8T after what had happened the first 7 holes?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't quite appreciate that the scoring was going to be quite so good today. So, again, I felt like the golf course was still fairly tricky the first few holes. The first 6 holes are always quite difficult around here. Obviously, you get your birdie opportunity on number 2. Today with a pin on number 3, that was an obvious birdie opportunity as well. But other than that, the first 6 holes are pretty tough. And always feel like if you can be even par, then great. Obviously I wasn't. I was, got to be a couple over today. Loose tee shot number 1, had to chip it out sideways, and actually made a great 2-putt from the back right of the green today to save double, I suppose, almost at that point. And then number 6, a couple feet from being pretty good, but ended up having to 2-putt from 60 feet at the bottom for another bogey. So, I think it was just a classic day at Augusta National when you're just slightly off. You can be a foot or 2 out on certain occasions and, you end up struggling. And, I think maybe off the back of yesterday, it starts to feel pretty different pretty quickly. But, again, I kind of told myself going up the 8th hole, hey, you're leading the Masters. Your frame of reference is a little bit different to yesterday. 4 ahead is something, but you're still leading. So, just enjoy it and keep going. And I was able to do that. I felt like the turning point really for me, good 2-putt again on number 9, just to stop the rot and just to feel like, could then just walk onto the back 9 and try to build something fresh and something new. So actually started to play pretty well from that point onwards.
Mr. Murray.
Justin, a lot of people have said before and during this tournament actually that 10 under may well win this Masters. Do you agree with that? And does that affect, do you think of scores or targets, bearing in mind you reach 7 under after 18 holes and you're close to 10 under already?
I haven't really thought about that, to be honest with you. It did cross my mind yesterday. I said, I wonder if I shot 370s from, after yesterday, if that would be good enough. You can kind of see the leaderboard and who's stacking up behind, and I feel like there's a lot of firepower there where you can't really ever hold anyone back to a number. I think, like you saw me yesterday, even on a tough golf course, someone gets it going around here, you can stretch away. But I think historically I've always felt that day 1 plays pretty tough around Augusta National, day 3 plays pretty difficult here at Augusta National, and then day 4 there's an opportunity. Guys don't historically go super low on Sunday, but there's the opportunity to go low. So you just got to keep hitting the shots. I'm not going to worry about a score. I think it's hard enough just to keep playing shot for shot rather than even try to sort of piece scores together day by day.
Mark.
Justin, this is not necessarily regarding yesterday and today, but in general, it seems difficult for players when they've shot a super low round to back it up the next day. I know yesterday was a situation where maybe you didn't come in with expectations, because you mentioned to us yesterday you didn't know what to expect. I'm just curious, what is the psychological dynamic about trying to put 2 super low rounds back to back? Because traditionally it is hard for guys to do.
Yeah, you're right. It is hard, and I'm not sure. I think we probably haven't quite figured out that dynamic. Otherwise, we'd probably do a better job that second day. But my mindset today was to be free, to go out there and play as free a golf as I could, because I felt that having the opportunity to play with a lead from day 1 could play in my favor come Sunday. You get used to it. So my goal today was just to really own the fact I was out there in front and just to try to really free up in that situation. Now, obviously, the scorecard didn't quite reflect that mindset, but it was still good exercise for me to kind of stick with today. And I felt like I actually did a pretty good job of that. I had a lot of tough 4-foot putts today that, even to save bogeys, to save pars, and, I really kept the momentum going on my front 9, even though the scorecard wouldn't reflect that. I really felt that there were some key moments in that front 9 where I was pretty proud of myself for kind of just keeping things ticking forward. So, I think it was a worthwhile day for me, and having played not having played for a month and to suddenly find yourself in the situation I was yesterday, it's, I'm not kind of brimming with confidence right now in that sense. So, today was always going to be a challenging day, but in the end, I kind of felt like I grew a little bit from today, which is good.
David?
Justin, yesterday you spoke about the experience telling you that there was no need to panic. I just wondered if that was even more difficult today, or were you waiting for the boom moment that you got on 8 yesterday?
Yeah, I was waiting for sure, but it seemed a little bit more elusive today, no doubt. I think the finger was, I was just joking earlier, the finger was kind of heading towards the panic button a little bit. But I had a little talk with myself on 8, and I said, you're still leading the Masters, and I just changed my mindset a little bit and started to play match play against the golf course. I scratched a line on my scorecard and told myself I was 3 down, and could I go ahead and beat the golf course from that point on? So I had a putt on 18 to win my match 1 up, and unfortunately it just slid by, but an honourable draw.
Daniel?
Justin, after missing the last month from playing competitively, what would you have said if someone told you coming in you'd have the 36-hole lead at the Masters?
Nothing, yeah, I'd have been slightly surprised, but nothing does surprise me here in the sense of I know that this place inspires me. I love being here on the ground. It's a golf course. I know how to play better than any other. For me to come into any major championship without playing for a month, it would be this one.
David?
Justin, without wishing to labour this point, you talked about wanting to feel free out there, but it seemed like you had to lose a bit of your lead to find that freedom. Is that how it felt to you?
No, not really. No. I thought I did a pretty good job really on number 1 and 2. I felt very settled after the second hole from that point of view. I had a great 2-putt on number 1 and then up and downing it from a tricky spot on number 2 to be, it's a pretty solid start really. That flag stick on number 1 is always a tricky pin. So to be even through 2, and I felt like I'd hit a couple of nice little shots there, and I felt like, I was somewhat up and running. So the goal, whether you're 1 ahead or 4 ahead here, really the shots don't change that much. The shot values don't change that much. There's only one way to play this golf course to certain pins, and you either manage it or you find yourself in a tricky spot. And today I just didn't find myself, just slightly on the wrong side of a couple of ridges. But to be honest, I felt pretty comfortable and relatively calm all day.
Jeffrey?
Justin, you say the shots don't change, but certainly momentum here can be a fickle thing. When you make a nice late run like that, do you feel it gives you some momentum heading to the weekend?
For sure. That round could have easily been 74, and I'd have still been in touch. I'd have been here, obviously tied with the guys at 5 under, and it would still be in a great position going into the weekend. But I think just making a few birdies just makes you feel good out there for sure. And listen, like I said, sleeping on the lead last night makes it much easier tonight, and then much easier again tomorrow, and then hopefully by Sunday, you're starting to get into the week and you're starting to get comfortable with it. And I think that's why I think today ultimately was a fairly good result in the end. But my goal was to play freely with it, and thought I did a pretty decent job with it today, and hopefully that becomes even more instinctive tomorrow.
Alex?
Justin, there's some stats floating around last night about how poorly actually first-round leaders had done in the last 25 years. I'm wondering if you saw any of that, and if you didn't see any of that, how are you able to block out that kind of stuff?
By not listening to you guys is exactly how I block it out. But, you listen, like you hear it now, it doesn't, it's, at the same time, you've got to get in position on this golf course. So first round lead, fine. I don't even know what the stats are, not really concerned, but you do have to kind of get yourself up there and have a great shot going into Sunday. We know that the winner of this tournament largely comes out of the final pairing on Sunday. So, I'd much rather kind of get up to the lead early as you can to try to kind of hold that position going into Sunday.
Laura?
Justin, do you have any routines or rituals to kind of clear your head at night when you go home with the lead? There's a lot of pressure. Yeah,
I drink lots of tea. I try not to watch too much of the golf. That's a bit of a shame in some ways, because I love watching the Masters. And obviously, if I'm not competing near the top of the leaderboard, I always do enjoy watching it as well. But I think, yeah, just trying to stay focused is really important. I'm focusing hard on my recovery at the moment, just doing all of the good protocols that I need to do to come out and feel, strong and healthy and well tomorrow. So ice baths and stuff like that. And yeah, I got, my wife's here, and we're pretty low key in the house actually. We've got a nice little fire pit that we just sit out there in the evening and just chat and chill, and not too much of the TV, I guess, is kind of the only way to stay away from it.
Other questions?
And if you said this yesterday, I'm sorry, but not playing for a month, maybe not having huge expectations on you, have these things played into your advantage this week in any way, at least in your mental state coming into the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I still couldn't wait for the gun to go off on Thursday, if that makes any sense, So I've been hyping myself up for this, though, for 2 weeks. I could have played the match play, I could have played Valspar, but I chose not to because I wanted to be ready for this golf tournament. So yeah, I wasn't ready to play from a golf sharpness point of view, but I've been putting all of my energy into getting ready to play. So in some ways, I didn't know what to expect, but I've been preparing to be right here. So that kind of, from that point of view, that does feel good, and doesn't overly surprise me. But it's a little bit of an unknown, not having played for a month for sure.
Justin, like yesterday, would you mind just going through the birdies on your scorecard?
Yeah, sure. Number 2 was 3-wood off the tee, then a 5-wood just short left of the green, which left me a decent angle but a tricky chip, which I managed to hit down to about 3 feet. And then number 13 hit an aggressive tee shot up and over the corner and hit 7-iron onto the green, and was able to 2-putt from about 35, 40 feet. Number 14 hit driver 9-iron into the front right-hand part of the green, and very rare do you get an uphill putt to that pin, and was able to roll in a nice left to right 20-footer there. And then 16 got it up onto the right shelf, the correct level, and hold about another 20-foot putt there right to left.
Great. Well, Justin, congratulations.
Thanks.